And who says doctors told him he could have died. And that Redmond man says he contracted COVID-19 even though he practiced social distancing and only left the house once in 10 days. And it was only to go to the grocery store. Now, as Fox 12's Sarah Hurwitz tells us, he's finally back home. Sarah?
Oh, yeah, Michael Widler tells me that he is doing much better now. He's out of the hospital and back home. And he says he was taking all of the precautions before he got sick. But he says that this just proves how contagious the virus really is. But he is grateful for his outcome. Michael Widler had been social distancing, working remotely in Redmond, and had only been to the grocery store within a 10-day period. But then about 2 weeks ago, he started to feel sick.
I had a really high fever. It was 104. I was exhausted. I had some joint pain in my spine, but I didn't have any trouble breathing or anything, so I just treated it like the flu. We quarantined me from the rest of my family, and I pretty much slept 16 hours a day for about the next week or so.
Widler says the fever went down pretty quick and his symptoms seemed to be getting better. But then a week later, that all changed.
I started having some respiratory trouble. Like when I would breathe in, it was like I could only breathe in so much. And it wasn't super uncomfortable, but a little alarming. When I woke up the following day, it was definitely worse.
He says his wife took him to the hospital where he tested positive for COVID-19 and pneumonia. He was put on oxygen and eventually sent to a hospital in Bend.
It got pretty bad pretty fast. They had me on 1 liter of oxygen when I got there. And by 8 o'clock that night, I was on 9 liters of oxygen.
Widler was in the hospital for 5 days before he could breathe on his own again, where he was quarantined for 3 days from his family.
Doctors said that had I not gone to the hospital, I would have died either late that evening or early the next morning.
Widler recognizes even with taking all of the right steps to stay safe, anyone can get it. But he is incredibly thankful and feels lucky with how everything turned out.
A lot of people are dying from this, and I didn't. So while it was uncomfortable and fairly frightening, I feel very grateful for all of the support that I've gotten and that I was able to come out the far side without any kind of long-term effects.
And we appreciate him telling his story to us today. Now, Widler also says that his family is still quarantining right now because they have been exposed. But he says at this point they have not gotten sick. Reporting live, Sarah Hurwitz, Fox 12 Oregon.